The moment I walked into the grand ballroom, I felt the familiar thrill, the glittering chandeliers, the soft hum of polite laughter, the scent of expensive perfume mixing with the faint tang of champagne. I wasn't here for the money. Not entirely. I was here because of her. Alex Whitmore. A familiar voice beside me. Always a pleasure to see you at these events. I turned to see Victor Langley, a mentor of sorts, his sharp eyes sizing me up. I offered a polite nod. Victor, you haven't changed. He chuckled. Neither have you. Still charming, still calculating. I smirked, letting the comment hang. But my attention had already drifted. She was across the room, laughing softly at something one of her friends said. Emily Carlyle. The way her hair caught the light, the slight tilt of her head, the warmth in her smile, it unsettled me. I wasn't used to feeling unsettled. Beautiful, isn't she? Victor's voice pulled me back. She's different. My words felt inadequate. Victor raised an eyebrow, clearly amused. Be careful, Alex. Hearts aren't toys. I ignored him and made my way across the room. My heels clicked softly on the marble floor, each step deliberate, each breath measured. Emily. My voice was steady, but my pulse betrayed me. She looked up, startled at first, then her expression softened. Yes, I'm Alex. Alex Whitmore. I extended my hand, which she took delicately. Her fingers were warm. I've heard a lot about you. She laughed, light and airy. I hope all good things. All good things, I repeated, my eyes locked on hers. At least from the right people. A pause. Her smile flickered, thoughtful. You seem different from the rest tonight. I try, I said, letting a small grin slip. But then again, I've never met anyone quite like you. Her laugh came again, softer this time. That's flattering. Before the moment could stretch into awkwardness, Jason Bennett appeared beside her. Tall, confident, and radiating wealth in every inch of his posture. He smiled, too polished, too perfect. Emily, darling. Who's this? His hand on her back was possessive, casual. Alex Whitmore, I presume. Victor's favorite up-and-comer. I extended my hand again, this time with an edge I couldn't hide. Jason Bennett. Pleasure. The pleasure's mine, he said smoothly, too smoothly. I studied him carefully. There was arrogance, pride, the kind that blinds a man to reality. Emily laughed nervously. Jason, Alex was just telling me how ambitious you are, Alex. I see ambition is a common theme tonight, Jason said, smiling at me like a competitor sizing up an opponent. But Emily, don't forget to enjoy yourself. I am, she said softly, looking at me briefly before returning to Jason's gaze. I forced a smile. Ambition, envy, desire. It churned in me, a storm I couldn't suppress. Jason had everything, yet his arrogance made him careless. And that carelessness, it could be his undoing. So, Alex, Emily said, turning back to me, do you always make grand entrances at charity galas? I like to make them memorable, I replied. But tonight, it's you who's unforgettable. Her cheeks flushed slightly, and I felt a thrill I hadn't expected. You have a way with words, she whispered. And you have a way of making me forget everything else, I admitted. Jason's laugh cut through the moment, sharp and controlled. Emily, don't let him flatter you too much. I glanced at him, meeting his eyes. Challenge accepted, unspoken. The evening wore on with polite chatter, champagne refills, and subtle glances. Emily's laughter, soft and genuine, became my anchor. I stayed close, catching her hand lightly when she reached for a glass, laughing at jokes no one else found funny. Jason's presence loomed, but it only sharpened my focus. At the night's end, as we stepped out onto the terrace, the city lights stretching below us, she turned to me. I'm glad we met tonight, Alex. So am I said, letting my fingers brush hers. The world felt fragile, as if one wrong move could shatter everything. Jason's voice, distant but clear, reminded me of the storm brewing ahead. Yet in that moment, standing there with Emily, I allowed myself a thought I shouldn't have. This could be mine. And I knew even then that nothing would be simple. I spotted her in the cafe before anyone else. Emily sat with her head slightly bowed, a loose curl falling over her face. Jason wasn't there this time, and I noticed how her shoulders seemed lighter. Hey, Emily. I slid into the seat across from her. She looked up, surprised. Alex, you're early. I like early mornings, I said, keeping my tone casual. And I figured you could use a coffee. Her lips curved, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Thanks, I guess. Rough night with him? I asked, nodding toward the empty chair beside hers. She sighed, glancing away. It's not just nights, Alex. It's everything. I laugh less, pretend more. I feel trapped sometimes. I kept my expression neutral, but inside, a dark satisfaction stirred. That sounds exhausting. It is, she admitted. And no one sees it. Not really. Jason, he's proud, but he doesn't notice the little things. The real me. I leaned in slightly. Maybe that's why some of us notice. Emily's eyes widened a fraction. You do. I do, I said quietly, watching her carefully. Sometimes it's the small cracks that show the truth. She bit her lip. You're dangerous, you know that? Maybe. Or maybe I just see what others ignore. My words were light, but the weight in them hung between us. A laugh from a nearby table startled us. Lydia Harper appeared, waving. Emily, I saved you a seat. Emily's face softened. Lydia, come here. Lydia slid in beside her. Alex Whitmore, right? Her tone was cautious but polite. Emily's told me a little. Just a little? I asked, smiling faintly. Enough, Lydia said, giving Emily a pointed look. You've been distant. You know, I notice things. Emily shrugged. I'm managing. Mostly. Managing isn't living, Lydia said softly. You deserve better than him. I watched Emily hesitate, glancing toward the door as if Jason might suddenly appear. Better? I don't know what that even means anymore. You know, Lydia pressed. Someone who actually listens. Someone who doesn't just flaunt their wealth and ignore your feelings. My pulse quickened. She didn't know I fit that description perfectly. I kept my voice low. Sometimes the right person is closer than you think. Emily's fingers trembled slightly as she reached into her bag. She pulled out a folded piece of paper. I wrote something. Not for anyone to read, really. But I think you might understand. My chest tightened. You want me to read it? She nodded, handing it over with a slight hesitation. Please. Just don't judge me. I took it carefully, unfolding the paper. Her handwriting was neat, delicate. Every word felt raw, every emotion exposed. My heart raced, not just with excitement, but guilt too. I shouldn't feel this way, shouldn't thrill at her vulnerability, but I did. This is powerful, Emily. My voice shook slightly, betraying me. I wrote it for someone who truly understands, she said, her eyes locked on mine. Jason, he wouldn't. I understand, I whispered. I get it more than you know. She looked down again. It's dangerous, sharing this. I feel selfish. You're not selfish, I said firmly. You're human, and humans deserve someone who listens, someone who notices. That's not selfish, it's survival. Emily nodded slowly, chewing her lip. I just want to be seen. And you are, I said, letting my gaze linger on her. By someone who cares. Trust me. Lydia shifted uncomfortably. Alex, are you sure this is? I cut her off gently. I'm sure. Sometimes, you just know who's meant to hear the truth. Emily's eyes met mine, and for a moment, it felt like the world shrank to just us. She leaned back, relief in her posture. Thank you for listening. I'll always listen, I said. You don't have to say it aloud. Not to anyone who doesn't deserve it. We sat in silence for a few minutes, just the hum of the cafe around us. Outside, Jason's car passed, oblivious to everything. I didn't speak, didn't need to. She already knew. Finally, she sighed. I think I needed this more than I realized. Just someone to see me, really see me. I see you, Emily, I said softly. And I'll keep seeing you, whether anyone else notices or not. She smiled faintly, the first genuine smile in days. I trust you, Alex. And I felt it, a dangerous mix of guilt and exhilaration. The seeds of betrayal weren't planted by me, but Jason's pride had already done the work. My chance was here, and I knew it. I spotted Emily immediately, standing nervously by the red carpet. Jason was beside her, puffed up like a peacock, greeting the press with his usual smug grin. My stomach churned as I watched him laugh a little too loudly at his own jokes, completely oblivious to the discomfort in her eyes. I slid through the crowd toward them. Emily. My voice was calm, but my pulse was anything but. She turned toward me, relief flickering across her face. Alex, I didn't expect to see you here. I follow the important events, I said, keeping my tone casual. Especially when someone I care about is attending. Her cheeks warmed. You're sweet, but you know Jason. He doesn't like attention stolen from him. I'm not stealing, I whispered, leaning close so only she could hear. I'm offering support. Nothing more. Jason waved at us, his grin too wide. Alex, always lurking, aren't you? Emily, don't let him distract you. Emily's hand tightened on her clutch. He's fine, Jason. Fine. Jason's voice was sharp now. Fine isn't good enough for a night like this. You should be dazzling. Her smile faltered. I saw it, the shock, the hurt, the tiny flicker of humiliation. I felt a pang of anger, not at her, but at him. I stepped closer. Emily, don't listen to him. You're already dazzling. Always have been. Her eyes met mine, gratitude shining through the fear she tried to hide. Alex. Jason cleared his throat. Why are you whispering, Emily? Am I not enough? I suppressed a laugh, though the urge was strong. You're plenty, I said, deliberately loud enough for nearby ears to catch. But sometimes, someone needs to hear the truth, Jason. She's remarkable. Jason's grin tightened. Remarkable, huh? Careful, Alex. Flattery's dangerous. I think honesty's more dangerous, I shot back, feeling the tension thrum between us. Emily's hand brushed mine, brief, accidental, electric. I felt her fear, her uncertainty, her trust. And I made my choice. Come on, I murmured, gesturing toward the side of the hall away from the cameras. She hesitated but followed. Once we were out of earshot, she let out a shaky breath. I can't believe him. How can someone be so blind to everything? I know, I said softly. And you don't deserve that. Not from him, not from anyone. Her eyes welled up. I feel so small sometimes. You're not small, I said firmly. You're stronger than you think. Strong enough to see through the pretenses, to demand respect. Emily leaned slightly toward me, her voice trembling. I've never had someone actually listen. Really listen. I'm listening, I said. Every word. Every thought you hide from the world. She looked down, biting her lip. I shouldn't. I know Jason, but I don't know why it feels easier with you. Because you can be yourself with me, I said quietly. No masks. No pretense. Just you. A shadow fell across the hallway. Mark Caldwell, Jason's rival in the business world, stood there, smirking. Whitmore, fancy seeing you here. Emily looks content. Are you scheming, or just being charming? I smiled faintly, ignoring the jab. Just making sure she's okay. Unlike some people. Mark raised an eyebrow, clearly entertained. Careful, Alex. Not everyone appreciates intervention. I'm aware, I said smoothly. But some things, some people require it. Emily shifted, glancing at Mark nervously. He's complicated, she whispered. I can handle complicated, I said. Especially when it matters. We moved down the corridor to a quieter spot. Her hand lingered in mine, tentative but seeking reassurance. Alex, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm betraying him somehow by trusting you? You're not betraying anyone, I said firmly. He's blind, Emily. Blind to the person who loves him, blind to the cracks he's caused. You're just choosing to see the truth. Tears slid down her cheeks. I reached up, brushing them away. It's okay. It's not weakness. It's honesty. She leaned into me, and in that moment, the world fell away. Alex, I swallowed hard, knowing the line we were crossing, the risk we were taking. Sure, I whispered. I'm here. Just breathe. Nothing else matters right now. Her lips met mine suddenly, softly, in a desperate, searching kiss. My chest tightened as I returned it, careful, tender, yet hungry. When she pulled back slightly, eyes wide, she whispered, I can't believe this, but I needed it. Neither can I admitted, though inside I knew I'd been waiting for this spark longer than I wanted to admit. Her fingers gripped mine tightly. Promise me you won't let anyone hurt me like that again. I promise, I said, voice low, steady. Not him. Not anyone. I've got you. She exhaled, finally relaxing. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for being here. I gave a faint smile, though my mind raced. Protecting her, comforting her, maybe even taking what Jason ignored, it all felt right. And yet, part of me wondered if I was crossing a line I could never come back from. But watching her, feeling her trust, I knew one thing clearly. Nothing would ever be the same. I didn't think a stolen coffee break could feel so exhilarating until Emily appeared around the corner, glancing over her shoulder. Alex, she whispered, relief in her eyes. Hey, I said softly, stepping closer. I thought I'd find you here. She smiled, nervous, biting her lip. I needed a moment away from him. Jason, I asked casually, though my chest tightened at the thought of him. She nodded. He doesn't notice when I'm upset. I try to talk, but he talks over me, or he laughs it off. That's because he doesn't see you, Emily. Not really. My words came out sharper than I intended, but she didn't flinch. I know you see me, she whispered, a hint of awe in her tone. And I like that. I felt that familiar mix of guilt and desire swirl inside me. You don't have to explain, I said, brushing a stray curl from her face. I'm just here. For you. She leaned slightly closer. I feel safe with you. Good, I murmured. Because you should be. She glanced toward the office windows nervously. If anyone sees us, it could be trouble. Then we stay hidden, I said, letting my hand brush hers. The electricity between us was undeniable. A secret for now. Just us. Emily smiled faintly. A secret feels thrilling in a scary way. I laughed softly. That's exactly how it should feel. Later that evening, we found a quiet corner in the office lounge. Clara Simmons, Emily's co-worker, wandered over with her usual bright energy. Hey, Emily, you've been avoiding me all morning. Everything okay? Emily tensed slightly. I just needed space, Clara. You know how it is. Clara tilted her head, studying her. You're acting different. Happier, maybe. Emily's eyes flicked to me, and I felt the weight of her gaze. Just adjusting, she said carefully. Adjusting, huh? Well, if you ever need someone to talk to, Clara gave a small, knowing smile. I'm here. Always. Emily nodded. Thanks, Clara. I appreciate it. Once Clara left, Emily sank into the couch, exhaling shakily. I don't know how long we can keep this up, she admitted. Every moment feels dangerous. I know, I said, my voice low. But every moment with you is worth it, dangerous or not. Her lips curved slightly. You make me feel alive, Alex. I haven't felt this in so long. And I feel it too, I confessed. Even when I shouldn't. But being near you, it's impossible to resist. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I wish Jason could see me like this. Like how you do. I wish he could, I murmured. But he doesn't. That's not your fault. It's his blindness. Emily shifted slightly, gazing up at me. Do you think we're doing the right thing? I paused, the moral weight pressing on me. I don't know, I admitted honestly. Sometimes I wonder if I'm helping, or if I'm just taking what's not mine. Her fingers intertwined with mine. I trust you, Alex. That's all I know. And that's enough, I said, though inside I was calculating, planning. Helping her escape Jason's control, subtly undermining him. It thrilled me and terrified me at the same time. The next morning, I orchestrated a small escape for her. A meeting conveniently running late, a last-minute work excuse. Emily arrived flustered but free, and when she saw me waiting outside the cafe, relief washed over her. You did this? She asked, suspicion and gratitude mingled in her voice. I helped, I said, careful not to reveal the full truth. You deserve a break. That's all. Emily's hand brushed mine as we walked down the street. Alex, you make it all feel lighter. Like I have choices again. You do, I said softly. You always had them. You just needed someone to remind you. She laughed, quiet and musical. You're so sure of yourself sometimes. It's comforting. And you're so trusting, I said, smirking faintly. It's dangerous. For both of us. Emily's eyes met mine, serious now. I don't care. I just want to be with you, even if it's only these stolen moments. Then we will, I said, feeling the thrill surge through me. No matter what it takes. She leaned closer, whispering, I feel like I'm falling completely. Then fall with me, I said, gripping her hand tightly. We'll fall together. Carefully, recklessly, whatever you need. Her laugh was soft, a mixture of nervousness and joy. Carefully, recklessly. I like that. We stayed that way for a long moment, just holding each other in a hidden corner of the world. Outside, Jason's influence loomed, unaware of how quickly the tides were shifting. Every glance, every touch, every whispered promise between us deepened our bond. And I felt it, dangerous, cinematic, all-consuming. Was it love? Or was it revenge wrapped in warmth? Either way, I couldn't stop now. I watched Jason pacing across his office, hands raking through his hair. Emily stood near the window, her arms crossed, eyes burning with frustration. Jason, you can't just ignore it, she snapped, voice sharp. This deal, this company, it's falling apart because you refuse to see what's in front of you. I'm handling it, he said, waving a dismissive hand. I always handle it. Handling it. Emily's voice cracked. You call ignoring the warning signs handling it? You humiliate people, you lie to investors, and you act like it's all fine. I leaned against the doorway, a faint smirk on my face. She was finally speaking the truth, and he had no idea how powerless he was. Jason's laugh was forced. Emily, you don't understand the pressures I face. You think you know the world, but you only see shadows of it. I see enough, she shot back. I see how you treat me, how you treat everyone around you. You're so focused on your image that you've forgotten what really matters. I stepped closer, keeping my presence subtle but grounding. Emily's right, I said, voice low but firm. You're blind to the cracks, Jason. And the cracks are growing. He froze, eyes narrowing. And you are? Someone who notices, I replied. Someone who sees beyond the surface. Emily turned toward me, relief and trust shining in her eyes. Thank you, Alex, she whispered. Jason scoffed. You're conspiring against me now. Really, Alex? I should have expected it. You can call it whatever you like, I said, but the truth doesn't need permission to exist. He glared, but his facade was cracking. He barked out orders into his phone, trying to maintain control, but I could see the tension building. Each misstep, every delayed response, I savored quietly from my corner. Emily's hand brushed mine as we moved away from the chaos. Alex, I've never felt this scared before. Not of anyone. Not even him. You're safe with me, I whispered. I won't let him hurt you. Not anymore. She exhaled shakily. I'm afraid, though. Afraid I'll lose myself in this, all of this. Then don't lose yourself, I said softly. Lean on me. Let me carry some of it with you. She looked at me, searching my eyes. You've been through so much, haven't you? I can see it. You hide it, but I feel it. I hesitated. For the first time, I let my guard down. I have, I admitted. I've been betrayed, abandoned, underestimated. I've made choices, terrible choices. But every one of them shaped who I am today. And who I am is here with you. Emily's hand lingered in mine. You're not perfect, Alex. But you're real. And that's enough for me. Her words struck me harder than I expected. Thank you, Emily. That means more than you know. From across the room, Jason barked into the phone again. Victor, I need those numbers verified immediately. How is this possible? Victor Langley's voice, calm but cutting, responded. Jason, you've overlooked the risks. This isn't luck failing you, it's neglect. The foundation is crumbling because of your arrogance. Jason's face flushed red, but he tried to maintain composure. I can fix it. I always fix things. Victor's tone didn't soften. Not this time. Your pride blinded you long before the cracks appeared. I warned you. I felt a thrill at the sound of his mentor speaking the truth. Jason's empire, his carefully curated image, was unraveling right in front of him. And no one, not even his mentor, could save him now. Emily squeezed my hand. I don't know how to thank you, she said softly. You don't need to, I replied. Just stay with me. That's enough. Jason slammed the phone down, shaking. I won't let this happen. Not to me, not to anyone. You already did, I said quietly. And now you see it. His face twisted in fury, yet helplessness lingered beneath it. I could almost hear the internal crumble, the realization that control wasn't his anymore. Emily's trust in me grew with each moment. Alex, I feel safe because you're honest. You don't pretend. You don't hide behind power or pride. I told you the truth, I said. And I always will. The phone rang again, this time from the boardroom. Jason answered quickly, hope flickering in his eyes. But the deal he thought was secured had collapsed. I saw it, the panic, the shock, the realization. Emily whispered. He didn't see it coming, did he? No, I said softly, letting my voice convey both triumph and sympathy. He didn't. And now, he's paying the price for ignoring what was right in front of him. Her head rested lightly on my shoulder. I can't believe how much has changed in just a day. Neither can I admitted. But change is necessary. For both of us. And for him, well, he brought this on himself. We stayed in the quiet corner, holding each other as Jason's empire started to crumble publicly. I felt the power shift, the weight of justice and fate intertwining. And I knew deep inside that nothing would ever be the same. Not for him, not for Emily, not for me. Jason stumbled into the office, face pale, suit wrinkled. His eyes darted around, searching for someone to anchor him. When they landed on me, I saw the arrogance drain from him entirely. Alex, he began, voice hoarse, unsteady. I leaned back against my chair, arms crossed. Jason, you look exhausted. I didn't see it coming, he admitted, voice trembling. The deal, everything's gone wrong. I can fix it. I swear I can. Swear all you want, I interrupted. The fact is, you ignored reality. You humiliated people, neglected the signs, and now it's all unraveling. Emily stepped closer, hand in mine. Alex is right, Jason. You can't just bluff your way through everything. He turned to her, desperation in his eyes. Emily, please, I can explain. I didn't mean. Explain, she said, voice sharp. Explain the lies, the arrogance, the way you ignored me. You acted like I didn't exist, like nothing mattered beyond your image. I was under pressure, he stammered. I didn't realize. You didn't realize? Emily's eyes were blazing. You didn't realize I needed someone to see me, to respect me. You made choices that hurt everyone, Jason. Everyone. I felt a quiet satisfaction as I watched him shrink under her words. Not cruelty, but the natural weight of consequence. He dropped into a chair, head in his hands. I thought I could control everything. I thought I was untouchable. And you were wrong, I said softly, keeping my voice steady. Power without awareness is nothing. Pride without care is dangerous. You should have known that. Emily reached for his hand, but he recoiled slightly. Please, I can make it right. I'll do anything. You think apologies fix negligence? I asked, voice low, careful. You can grovel, Jason, you can beg, but the damage is done. Some things aren't yours to repair anymore. He lifted his head, eyes glossy with desperation. Alex, I trusted you at one point. Don't destroy me completely. I paused, feeling the edge of vengeance calling me. The urge to crush him, to assert every ounce of power I had, was intoxicating. But Emily's hand on mine reminded me why I was here. I'm not here to destroy you, I said slowly. I'm here to let reality teach you a lesson you refused to learn. That's justice. That's enough. He flinched, but his pleading eyes remained. Enough? You can't just. Enough, I repeated firmly. You're broken because you ignored what mattered. You're vulnerable because your pride blinded you. That's your consequence. Emily looked at me, eyes wide. Alex, I see why you didn't take everything. You could have, but you didn't. You understand what real power is. I nodded, squeezing her hand lightly. Power isn't just about taking revenge, Emily. It's knowing when to act, when to let go. Control is knowing the difference. Jason's voice was barely audible. I don't understand. Why are you? Because I've grown, I said softly. I'm not the person I was when I envied, when I lusted, when I wanted. I've learned. I've survived. And now, I choose the narrative of my life. He slumped further, broken, and for a moment, I saw a man stripped bare of pride, blinded by his own hubris. Emily's hand lingered in mine. Alex, I feel safe with you. I see you. I see how strong you've become. I let out a slow breath. Strength isn't measured in revenge or in winning. It's measured in restraint, in choices, in understanding that some victories are about growth, not destruction. He coughed, voice small. So this is it. You won't. No, I said simply. I won't take what you've lost. You've done that yourself. Emily tilted her head, studying me. And you're not afraid? Of letting him live while he's broken. Fear doesn't guide me anymore, I said quietly. Clarity does. Justice isn't personal. It's natural. Karma's cold kiss comes without my hand. I just step aside and let it land. Jason's eyes filled with tears, and I saw his pride crumble completely. I never thought. I'd be powerless. You should have considered that possibility long ago, I replied. It's not my fault you ignored it. Emily squeezed my hand again. Alex, thank you. For teaching me, and for being real. I can't explain how much this matters. You don't need to, I whispered. Actions matter more than words. I'll always act when it counts. Jason's shoulders sagged. He was silent, broken, exposed. I could see the world he built crumble, yet I didn't gloat. I simply let it happen, allowing natural consequence to unfold while standing beside Emily, fully aware of who I had become. Emily rested her head lightly against my shoulder. I feel safe, and stronger, because you showed me strength isn't just about control or punishment. It's about choices. I pressed my lips gently to her temple. Exactly. And now, we choose our path together. Not his, not anyone else's. Ours. Jason looked between us, lost and powerless. I didn't need to say anything more. The lesson had been delivered, and I had emerged not just victorious, but free, emotionally, morally, and strategically. Emily stood across from me, sunlight catching her hair, her eyes steady and unafraid. Alex, I've made my choice, she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of everything we'd endured. And that choice is? I asked, my heart pounding, trying to steady my tone. I choose you, she said simply, as if nothing else mattered. Not because you're perfect, not because it's safe, because I trust you, I love you. And I finally know that you see me, truly see me. I swallowed hard, the emotions tangling inside me. Emily. My voice faltered. I hadn't expected the simplicity of her words to hit so hard. I mean it, Alex. Every word. She stepped closer, taking my hand. I've been blind for so long, but with you, I'm awake. I smiled, a mix of relief and longing. I promise, Emily. I won't betray that trust. Ever. Her lips curved faintly. And I won't be afraid to lean on you. We carry each other now. The sound of footsteps interrupted us. Jason appeared at the doorway, his posture smaller, shoulders slumped. Alex. Emily. Emily's grip on my hand tightened. Jason, this is over. For good. I never wanted it to end like this, he said quietly. I see now how much I've lost. How blind I was. I warned you, I said softly. But you refused to listen. Pride is a cruel teacher. Jason's gaze fell to the floor. I understand that now. I don't deserve. You don't, Emily said firmly. But you will live with the consequences, Jason. That's enough. He nodded slowly, swallowing hard. I'll leave. Quietly. You should, I said, my voice calm final. This isn't about vengeance anymore. It's about closure. For all of us. Jason hesitated, then turned and walked away. I watched him leave, the last trace of arrogance gone. He had been humbled, stripped bare, forced to face the consequences of his choices. Emily leaned into me, and I felt the weight of our journey pressing into my chest. I didn't know if we'd ever reach this point, she whispered. We did, I said softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Because we survived everything. Betrayal, pride, envy, and came out stronger on the other side. Her fingers traced mine. You've changed, Alex. You're not the man you were when we first met. You're better. Stronger. Real. I learned, I admitted. I learned that true strength isn't about control, manipulation, or revenge. It's about honesty. Emotional honesty. With myself and with the people I care about. Emily's lips pressed lightly to my cheek. And I see that. I trust that. That's why I can choose you now. I took a deep breath, feeling the tension of years of envy, desire, and uncertainty slip away. I don't take this lightly, I said. I know the line between revenge and love is razor thin. I've walked it and I've learned. With you, it's love. Her smile was soft but radiant. Then let's walk forward together. Scarred, maybe, but stronger. I nodded, feeling an incredible calm settle over me. Stronger. Always stronger. We walked to the living room, where the remnants of past conflicts lay untouched. Papers, letters, reminders of battles fought and won. Emily's eyes fell on a small envelope, one she had once handed me in secret. I never thought I'd see this again, she murmured, voice trembling. My letter, the one I wrote for someone who truly understands. I picked it up carefully, feeling the paper between my fingers, feeling the weight of her trust. It's yours, Emily. But now it's a testament. To love, to loss, to what happens when people face the consequences of their pride. She touched my arm. It reminds me of everything we survived. And everything we gained. Not just each other, but clarity, strength, freedom. I nodded, gazing at her. Freedom. That's the ultimate crown, isn't it? Not wealth, not power, but the freedom to choose to love, to live without the chains of envy or revenge. Emily's head rested lightly against my shoulder. I feel free and safe. And I know I belong here. With you. I pulled her closer. And I feel the same. Scarred, maybe, but free. And this time, we write our own story, not controlled by pride, manipulation, or fear. The quiet around us was filled with understanding, the kind that comes only after surviving storms together. No words were needed for the ghosts of the past. They lingered only as lessons, not burdens. Emily lifted her head, meeting my eyes. Alex, are we really done with the past? Yes, I said firmly. We've faced it, learned from it, and moved beyond it. Nothing can take this from us. Her smile was a mix of joy and relief. Then let's never look back. Just forward. Together. I pressed my lips to hers, softly, fully, letting every word, every promise, every lesson we had lived seep into that kiss. Together, I whispered. As we pulled back, I held the letter in my hand, feeling the symbolic weight. The betrayal, the envy, the heartbreak, all of it led us here. All of it taught me the true meaning of love, trust, and justice. Emily rested her head on my chest, sighing softly. Crown claimed, heart freed, she murmured. I smiled, letting her words settle. Yes. And now the future is ours. We stood there, scarred but stronger, the echoes of past battles fading. Jason's pride had fallen. My desire for revenge had matured into understanding. And Emily's heart had chosen me fully, without fear, without doubt. The letter remained in my hand, a quiet reminder of the journey, love, loss, and karmic justice perfectly intertwined. And for the first time, I felt completely, undeniably whole.